played video games and loved playing them, but I majored in English and Classics in my undergrad, and then I came to UT to do my master's in library science, initially focusing on libraries, archives, kind of the more book and paper side. But I took a Java programming class, and I loved it, and that was sort of, I just ran with it, and I had a good friend in the class who had a lot of contacts in the industry, in the game industry, and in the tech industry in general, and he introduced me to the CEO of the company I work for now, and the CEO hired me as an intern, and I started working as an intern, only like 15 hours a week, and then I just sort of started working there more and more, and then he offered me a full-time job after I graduated with my master's.
I worked for Compaq Computer before it was part of Hewlett-Packard, and I work for a company called NCR Corporation, which are two technology companies, but I did mostly sort of business, marketing, financial roles. It made me really interested in technology, but I didn't actually do any programming or coding. Somebody that I worked with showed me some HTML one day, and I just kind of went from there. I was like, wow, this is cool. This is probably something I can do. It sort of combined technology skills with creativity that I really didn't think I had up to that point, and was able to make things and share things. It was when the web was starting to burgeon, and really from there I decided to come to UT and get my PhD and continue gaining new skills by teaching it and by taking classes in a lot of different programs around UT.
Just throw yourself into it, make time for it. I mean, everyone says like have a project or something that that you can be passionate about. To be honest, I just love programming. Like I love the theoretical parts. I love just making cool like art with it, like with the semicolons and stuff. And like I don't really do a project, but definitely it's something that can help a lot of people. Making an app is a really good stepping stone because apps have they have sound, they have art, they have programming, they have all the things, and you can make something really cool looking and polished that you can say like I made this at the end of the day, and it's something that one person can do.
There are other disciplines that you can go to get technology skills, like in journalism and mass comm. Take a web design class, take a visual literacy class, take a multimedia storytelling class where you can work on video editing. Think about using technology to tell stories and make something. You have the whole web. Make a blog, start it on something that you really care about. Shoot a video and put it on YouTube. Share it with people on Facebook and on Twitter. Try things out. So definitely make things. Use social media to connect with people and go to meetup groups. I mean, if you make things and you network, you will get a job. But what I started finding in my classes, because it's journalism, I just had a lot of females in these computer labs enjoying taking computer science classes. So it started occurring to me that maybe the discipline where we teach technology needs to be a place where women are already highly represented, as opposed to trying to force them into disciplines that they really, for whatever reason, have not flocked.
But an app is much more doable and an easier goal. And there are tons of online resources now that there didn't used to be, like Code Academy. I love Code Academy. You can't say enough good things about codeacademy.com, which teaches you very step by step. It's a great teaching method, and books and teacher. I mean, you just have to be motivated on your own too. Like rather than coming home and watching TV for 4 hours, come home and learn, do another chapter of Java for 2 hours or whatever. Just you have to self-motivate. I mean, find and use resources. Just take classes at a community college. If you don't want to commit to a whole 4-year degree in computer science, just go take C++ at Austin Community College or wherever. Find meetup groups, or there are tons of resources available to you if you just Google. To be honest, learning to program was much more intimidating, and I was a little bit shocked at how unwelcoming and unfriendly the community can be. Even some of my friends who were developers in undergrad were really mean. I would post things on my Facebook being like, how do I make a while loop, or what goes in my for loop statement, and they would write things on the post that were like, find a real programmer to do it. And I was like, wow, you're a jerk, and I thought you were a good friend, and so I was kind of shocked about that. So it can be really intimidating, but you just have to surround yourself with helpful people. Have more women involved, then they'll stop and they'll look. If you have a female artist designing something and a male artist sitting right next to her, and if he draws a character that has huge boobs and wears armor that just covers her nipples or something, then the woman's gonna be like, that's really that's comical, and then he'll be like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. And so it'll just be there'll just be so much more oversight than there was before of a female perspective. Work for some really big name company, and just be drooling like a 14-year-old boy, and it's disgusting. And that's one of the less offensive forms of sexism. Depictions of women in the game industry can be extremely offensive, and luckily there's a lot of conversation about that now and people speaking up about it, and so the game industry is slowly kind of changing and slowly realizing, like, wow, there are a lot of female gamers, there are a lot of women in the industry, women who want to be in the industry and who are great artists and developers and, you know, PR people and whatever, but you're forcing them, you're making it very much a boys club, and so they're realizing they're losing out on a lot of talent. Sexism isn't malicious, and that's what's frustrating, is it's so just ingrained that people think it's okay to hit on people at a booth at a conference, and it's like, that's so unprofessional. You know, if you're trying to make a contact with me, a business contact, you shouldn't also be inviting me to a party later. I feel like the real key here is to just flood the industry with so many women and different races, different genders, different, you know, sexual preferences, whatever, so many different types of people, that it's not weird to see a gay developer or a female developer or a black developer or whatever. You just, I mean, the same with historically any profession, like doctors. You know, there used to be no female doctors or, you know, doctors of other races, but then people started applying to medical school, and now, you know, like, having a female doctor is like, you would not even think that was weird by any means.